If right now you're sick of being single and you're starting to struggle with the loneliness and the insecurities that come with being on the market for too long, this video is for you. I'm gonna show you how to love your single life so much that you won't even care anymore when an annoying auntie comes up to you at an event and asks you, "So you're not married yet?" We've all been there, and actually I can think of several of my clients and my friends who are going through a phase where they're just not happy being single anymore. And I've noticed that there are two types of sisters. There's the one who's been independent for the longest time. She focused on her career because she had to take care of her family, mainly because the men in her life were not reliable, and she kind of had to take on that role. And the result of that is her not being able to see men in a positive light. Therefore, this sister has been avoiding marriage like the plague. But now she's coming to an age where she's thinking, I've ticked a lot of my boxes, and the most natural thing to start thinking about now is marriage, but I have no idea how to go about it. And I have a lot of fear about being close to someone. That's one sister. Then you have the other one who, for most of her life, has dreamt of having someone that she can rely on and that she can love with all of her heart. That sister is even anxious when she's on her own. She's just the hopeless romantic. She gets really clingy when she starts getting attached to someone. And for some reason, this particular woman will always end up being mistreated by the most toxic guys ever. The type of guys who ghost, who will pull up some crazy drama a few days before the engagement, who will have massive red flags, and a lot of these women unfortunately end up being alone, although they're really craving a connection and a partnership within a marriage setting. If you can recognize yourself in these two women, or if you're just struggling with being single at the moment, watch out. We're gonna cover a few mindset shifts that you need to adopt, as well as a few practical tips on how to make your life a source of joy for you again. If you're new here, my name is Sumaya. I'm a personal development coach, and on this channel I teach you how to level up your life as a Muslim woman by embracing your feminine energy and ditching the burnout and hustling culture. Let's start with a few mindset shifts that you need to take on if you really want to see the benefits of the tips that I'm going to give you later, inshallah. The first thing that you need to understand on this journey of embracing your singleness is that Allah's timing is the best timing. It doesn't matter how convinced you are that you need to be married right now, Allah knows best. And Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth. He's the one who created you. He's the one who knows you more than you know yourself, and He's the one who loves you more than your own mother loves you. So trust Him. You're not in control at the end of the day. So let the one who's truly in control dictate what is going to happen in your life, because He's the most knowledgeable. He's the wisest. He knows what's best for you. The second mindset shift that you need to have is understanding that marriage is actually not the end goal. And I know it's difficult to really process that information, because as Muslim women, as brown women, or women of color, we've been taught that we are only worthy of attention, love, validation if we are someone's wife. But the truth is that you get to redefine what success and happiness means to you. And that does not always necessarily have to include a man. I'm not saying that marriage is a bad thing. I do believe that it's important to have a partner in life. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy this life without a man. Put things back into perspective. Your actual real purpose in this life is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the truth is that Allah is so generous that He has given us many ways of doing that. And not all these ways have to do with having a life partner. In fact, most of the ways that we have to worship Allah have nothing to do with having a life partner. There are many things that you can do as a Muslim woman nowadays that do not involve having a husband. Alhamdulillah. What your 15-year-old thought was important to be happy is not necessarily what is really important to be happy. The reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of women create these ideas in their head when they're really young, and they have plans that they want to stick to, and 10, 15 years down the line, they're nowhere near what they thought they would be, but they're still stuck on this unrealistic image they created 15 years ago. which is not relevant at all to who they actually are, what happened to them, how society has evolved. So you need to grieve the woman that you thought you would be by this time of your life. And you need to recreate yourself with the wisdom that you have today about who you are and what you have in your disposition, inshallah. And I'm gonna give you a few tips on how to do that. So the beautiful thing about being single is that you should have quite a lot of time and energy in your hand. So let's maximize that time and energy to create a life that actually is exciting. The first thing that you should prioritize as a single woman in order to fall in love with your life again is self-love and self-care. So many women get depressed because they're single only because they don't truly love themselves and they're looking for that love, validation, and affection outside, which in essence is natural, it's human, but you need to learn to fill your cup first before you seek love outside. Otherwise, you're constantly going to be in a situation where you depend on others and you're always going to be the chaser. And the chaser is often the one that suffers the most in relationships. So learn to build a healthy relationship with yourself and a positive inner dialogue. Get to know yourself, but most importantly, get to accept yourself for who you are. Whether that's your personality or your body image, get comfortable in your skin. That way, if a man does come your way, but he tries to change who you are to your core, you will know that this is not something that you're interested in because you've made peace with who you are. And I'm not talking about your negative behaviors. I'm talking about things that you can't change about your identity. This is also a beautiful time to embody self-care through rituals that nurture your soul, mind, and body. So we're talking about habits that feel good for you and becoming consistent with these things so that they also become part of your identity and you don't let go of them the minute someone enters your life. And of course, being single is also a great time to learn to sit in silence with yourself and spend time on your own, which, by the way, in our religion is really important. Alhamdulillah, our deen is all about balance. It's both about spending time in your community, with your family, with your loved ones, and also spending time alone in silence in ibadah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My teacher always says the inability to spend time with yourself is a sign of spiritual illness. So you want to make sure that you develop that capacity and that you maximize it in your ibadah as well. And we're going to see how you can do that later on, inshallah. Tip number 2 is to focus on your personal growth during this time. This is the perfect moment to resolve any past trauma, to let go of any emotional baggage that you have so that you don't enter your future marriage holding these baggages. It's a good time to get clear on what you like, what you don't like, what you want in life, what are your goals, and also to cultivate a secure attachment style with the people around you that are not necessarily romantic partners. If you are able to do that with your friends and your family members, it'll be easier to do it in a marriage as well, inshallah. The other thing that you can work on as well when you're single is your ability to regulate your own emotions. Very important. Whether you're married or not, you need to know how to take care of yourself when you're triggered, when you're overcome by anger, sadness, frustration. Do that now. Don't wait until you are in a setting where you're going to be triggered literally every day by someone else to learn how to do that. And personal growth also means learning many different skills. One thing that I love about myself now is that because I'm a single mom and I'm a business owner and a student, and because I live alone in a foreign country, I've basically learned to do almost everything for myself. I'm a jack of all trades and I'm very independent, and I love that about myself. Of course, I do need a supportive community and friends around from time to time, but I can say that I'm so proud of myself for being able to take care of myself most of the time, alhamdulillah. This has helped boost my confidence and my self-esteem. So learn new skills if you want to gain confidence and a positive image of yourself. And that way, if a guy comes up to you and offers the bare minimum, you won't be impressed because you'll be able to do the bare minimum as well. This is related to pursuing new hobbies, so not necessarily skills, but this time more like passion projects. When you're single, you've got the time to book yourself a session to go pottery or go knitting, crocheting, cycling, hiking. I could go on and on and on. Like, I love trying new things. And as you guys know, I often solo travel as well. I think that being single is the perfect time to do that because when you're married, it's a bit more complicated, especially when you have kids. Now is your time to explore the world, baby. Go out there. There's so many beautiful places that you can see, so many amazing people out there who are also full of wisdom that you'll meet on these journeys. I absolutely love traveling by myself, because when I do so, I'm more inclined to talk to strangers, not in a dangerous way, don't worry, but in a way that I get to learn about other cultures. It's just magical experiences and beautiful memories. There are so many spiritual retreats that you can attend in order to spend time with yourself, but also with inspiring people. I'm gonna be a guest speaker in one of those this August, inshallah. I'll put the details in the description box if you're interested. It's gonna be amazing, and that could be a good opportunity for you to get out of your shell as a single woman and to take yourself out. Right now, you're kind of married to yourself anyway, so treat yourself the way that you'd like to be treated so that you know how to set your standards as well. And you can express it clearly when someone comes into your life. Tip number 3 is the most important one. It's all about strengthening your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this precious time that you have as a single Muslim woman. And that's the thing that a lot of sisters forget, because in their head they think, I will become more religious when I have a man to inspire me to do so. Baby girl, if only you knew, a man is not going to do that for you. That needs to come from within. It needs to come from you. Your spirituality is something very personal to you. Only you can impact it really in the long term. Yes, if you have a pious man, it's going to inspire you. It will have a positive impact on you, no doubt. However, why don't you start this journey right now and build a strong foundation for yourself independently of whether you're married or not? If you can do that, do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What if you died tomorrow without having reached your spiritual potential? Make getting closer to the Quran your goal by signing up to tajweed classes, joining hifz classes, seeking knowledge, visiting holy lands like going to Umrah or Al-Aqsa, or performing Hajj if you can. Read Islamic books. There are so many things that we can do to perfect our deen without having a partner. Don't waste time, just do these things now. Tip number 4 is serve your community. Find a cause that is important to you and go and support it as best as you can by going out there and physically meeting and helping people. The beautiful thing about helping people who are not as fortunate as you is that it constantly reminds you how blessed you are, and that even if you're single, you still have a lot to be grateful for. Tip number 5 is to cultivate a strong tribe of friends and supportive women around you, and that's probably my favorite tip of them all, because that has been really important in my life lately. The thing that people don't understand is that intimacy can be found in other places than romantic relationships. Intimacy is not just what you experience when you're in love with someone of the opposite gender. It's this sense of deep connection with people who are on the same page as you, people who understand you, people who love you as you are. And having a tribe of women who are ambitious, adventurous, positive, and inspiring will make you feel like someone's got your back and that you're feeling and receiving the love that you need as a human being. And alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful that I have built a community like that. It's called the Thriving Sister, and it's a place where women support each other to grow and to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that has really made a big difference in my life and in my clients' life. If you want to join us, check out the link in the description box. I'm going to be hosting a 4-day challenge about how to thrive in your feminine energy very soon. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram and that you join the challenge if you are stuck in your wounded masculine. This is going to be life-changing, inshallah. In the end, you might not be able to apply all of the tips that I've shared with you today, but I guarantee you that if you change your perspective on your current situation, and if you start focusing on the things that Allah has blessed you with, and all of the things that you're capable and able to do on your own, you're gonna be able to create a life that you love, whether you're with someone or not. And you know what the funny thing is about that? All the tips that I've mentioned might actually lead you to meeting a great man, because likes attract likes. If you work on yourself, you'll be able to attract a man who's also into personal development. If you prioritize getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're gonna attract a man who also prioritizes that. If you love traveling the world, you might meet someone on one of your journeys. But before that happens, make sure that you watch my video about my 10 tips before getting married, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any beneficial content, inshallah. If this was helpful, share it with a friend who's single. I pray that Allah makes it easy on all of us, and that He grants us the ability to be content with whatever He has decreed for us.